4 days of growth. AEW Dynamite.
Oh boy, so then we had the long-awaited Casino Gauntlet match. They had another Casino Gauntlet for a shot at the World Heavyweight title held by Dick the Boozer, the world's most dangerous plumber, that will happen next week in the Boozer's hometown of Cincinnati, where, from what we are told and what we are seeing here now on this go-round, nobody gives a shit in Cincinnati that Jon Moxley lives there or is from there. He never draws in Cincinnati. Is he the only majorly pushed wrestler in the world that doesn't draw in the place he lives?
He's the worst kind of heel, an unknown heel in his hometown. I don't know. I mean, they've done better crowds in Cincinnati. It feels like they've gone to Cincinnati a lot.
Well, remember they were supposed to be in Louisville, but they ixnayed that and they moved to Cincinnati on about 2 weeks' notice.
Jon Moxley's segments have killed the ratings. Jon Moxley's segments have caused AEW fans to just pray for it to end. The amount of people I've seen praying for Kenny Omega to just win the title and the Moxley stuff to go away. And by the way, I'm on that team now. Just give Omega the AEW title. Let's go back to what it was a few years ago. This Moxley stuff's terrible. He's a heel that you wouldn't want to support. Why would anyone in his hometown want to support him?
It's like when Nick Dinsmore was at Ohio Valley Wrestling. Every time we would have a spot show at his old high school, it would draw 500, 600, 700 people, right? Coming because, Nick had, become something of a draw in the local scene in the wrestling business. And then after he becomes the Eugene and he's on national TV, we ran the same show there. There 200 people. It's like, what fucking school would want to claim that they fucking produced this guy?
Here's our former valedictorian right here coming out.
Yeah, here he comes. He's waving at the crowd. So that killed that. Anyway, I'm not even good. This thing went half an hour plus. Jay White and Hangnail Page started out, and then came Wheeler Useless, and then came Ricochet. And when Ricochet came out, they played Swerve's music at first and then switched it over, so the fans were extra pissed. But apparently the fans are enjoying booing Ricochet, maybe not in the classic money drawing sense, but just telling him what a fucking putz he is.
Yeah, it's interesting. The other thing I thought while watching this is like, this whole casino match is like one skinny guy after another.
Well, speaking of which, number 5 was Adam Cole. And I like Adam. I enjoyed working with him in Ring of Honor. I thought he was a very talented young man. And the promos, and they had a thing going in NXT. I don't know what's the matter. What's happening? And again, if it's an illness or some physical issue, I apologize. But what is going on here? Not even, certainly he must just not give a shit about any input in his booking, because it's been spectacularly bad. But what the fuck are they trying to accomplish here now? If he doesn't need to be in the ring, should he concentrate on trying to get better? If there's something to get better from, I don't know what's going on. And speaking of not knowing what was going on, number 6 was Danny Garcia, out to complete silence. I don't think they knew who he was. And then
another really skinny guy. It was a noticeable difference from this to NXT or WWE. Anything you see, everyone was a slight guy.
Slight. They were very emaciated.
Not emaciated, just slight. Like no one is imposing in any sense of the word.
Well, here we go then, because number 7, very integral part of this, Powerhouse Hobbs.
Now
Willie Hobbs.
Now he's imposing.
And he got in and threw everybody around, and it woke the people up when he would do that. This went across the 9 o'clock hour, but it was 20 minutes and it was still going on. But when Hobbs was beating everybody up, I thought, they could get him over if he wins this, but then he'd have to wrestle Moxley. Then I thought, oh fuck, I don't want to wish that on him. But then more on this in a moment. Roderick Strong. And then Lance Archer came in. And again, a few years ago, without the Jake Roberts thing and the beating up the production assistants and the here today, gone tomorrow and all these other things, you might have got something out of Lance, but right now he detracted from Hobbs being the biggest guy in the match, and Hobbs versus Archer did neither guy any good, because they both have to be big and invincible, and nobody's going to tell Archer, apparently, fucking fly for Hobbs because he's our horse in this race. So then Kyle O'Reilly. And then finally, and remember he had said he was going to be in this, Jeff Jarrett. The music plays, and here comes Jeff, and the people really woke up for pretty much the first time 25 minutes in.
Hey, listen, despite that email you got, maybe 50 miles outside of Nashville, but that was a Jeff Jarrett crowd.
Well, yes, because it's still the Nashville TV market, and most of those people probably came, to be honest, from Nashville. And because Clarksville ain't that big a town. And besides that, he's been on television here for almost 40 years next year. And because he's in Nashville and he's business-minded, I'm sure he was doing some local publicity. So, and they wanted to see him in the goddamn Casino Gauntlet. They probably wanted to see him win it, but maybe if somebody eliminated him last, they might get some heat for doing it. Or any of it. But as he's on the way to the ring, Wheeler Useless, of all people, jumped him from behind in the aisleway, and they fought to the back. And Jeff Jarrett never got in this goddamn match, never even made it to the ring. And you could tell the fans were fucking hot, and they still had to watch more of this bullshit match. So that's now squashed any response they're going to get for anything. And 2 minutes later, Hobbs spine-bustered Kyle O'Reilly. You're going to win a big fucking match. You're going to win it over Kyle O'Reilly that hasn't beaten anybody since he beat his fucking sister playing fucking checkers when he was in 6th grade. He spine-bustered O'Reilly 1, 2, 3. And so they did put him over, but after they pissed the fans off that they didn't get to see Jeff and it was a flat finish, and now he's got to wrestle Dick the Boozer. And that's going to suck, because Moxley can have a good match, and he won't put this guy over, so his push is going to last all of 1 fucking week. What has Hobbs done to these people? And then,
did you see the promo afterwards?
Yes, Renee Moxley Good gets in the ring and asks Hobbs about the match next week against, she doesn't say this, but against her husband. She just refers to him like it's Jon Moxley. And Hobbs can talk, which makes it even more shocking they can't figure out how to do anything with him. And he said he plans on shocking the world and making Moxley his bitch. Right to his wife. So Hobbs wants Renee's job. And then Hobbs left the ring. And we're 30 minutes into this fiasco at that point, and as he's on the way back, Jeff Jarrett comes back out and shakes Hobbs' hand. And then starts walking the ring. And the announcers don't even mention Jeff's presence in the building, even though he's on the monitor on the camera shot. They go to a package on the history between Christian and Hook, as Jeff is meandering back to the ring with a hangdog expression. Your thoughts before we come back from the break?
My thoughts on which part of it exactly?
On what the fuck's going on here?
That casino match went forever. I like the idea of Hobbs getting a push. I like the idea of Hobbs getting interview time. Unless they're going to do Rocky 3. And it's going to be like a 90-second thing where he destroys Moxley. It doesn't help him to have a competitive match with Moxley right now. This is a guy that still needs recovery. from, at this point, years of missed opportunities and bad booking.
Oh, you mean Hobbs needs recovery from
I mean
this? I
Hobbs.
thought you meant Moxley needed recovery from things he's recovered from before.
I don't think anything's going to change there.